Ravi had always been an average student. He wasn't the smartest in his class, nor the most talented in sports. But if there was one thing he had, it was determination. From a young age, Ravi dreamed of becoming an engineer. His father was a mechanic, working long hours to support their family, and Ravi wanted to create machines that could make life easier for people like his father. However, the road to achieving his dream was far from easy. A tough beginning. Ravi lived in a small town where education was not a priority for most kids. Many of his classmates didn't take their studies seriously, and some even dropped out to start working early. His school lacked good teachers, and resources were limited. Despite these challenges, Ravi was determined. He borrowed books from his seniors and spent hours studying under the dim light of a street lamp when there was no electricity at home. His mother often scolded him for staying up late, but he knew he had to push himself if he wanted a better future. However, when he received his first exam results in high school, his heart sank. He had failed math. Failure and doubt. Ravi's failure became the talk of the class. Some of his classmates mocked him, while others gave him pitying looks. Even his teacher sighed, "Maybe engineering is not for you." For a brief moment, Ravi doubted himself. Maybe they were right. Maybe he wasn't smart enough. But then he remembered his father's callous hands, his mother's tired face, and the life they lived. He didn't want to give up. Instead of feeling sorry for himself, Ravi decided to try harder. He approached the smartest student in class, Anil, and asked for help. At first, Anil laughed and said, "You? Pass math? That's impossible." But when he saw the determination in Ravi's eyes, he agreed to help. The hard work begins. Every day, Ravi stayed back after school, solving math problems with Anil. He struggled, made mistakes, and got frustrated, but he never quit. He rewrote formulas, practiced endlessly, and asked countless questions. Months passed, and when the next exam results were announced, Ravi's hands trembled as he opened his report card. His eyes widened. He had passed. Not just passed, but scored above average. It was a small victory, but it proved one thing. Hard work paid off. A bigger dream, a bigger struggle. Encouraged by his improvement, Ravi set his sights on an even bigger goal, getting into a top engineering college. But this meant competing with students from elite schools, students who had access to better education and resources. His parents were supportive but worried. Entrance coaching is expensive, Ravi, his father said. We can't afford it. Ravi nodded. He knew money was tight, but he wasn't going to let that stop him. Determined, he found free online courses and studied using a borrowed smartphone. He woke up at 4 a.m. to study before school and stayed up late to revise. His friends went to movies and parties, but he stayed focused on his goal. Even when he felt exhausted, he reminded himself why he started. The first setback. The entrance exam was tougher than Ravi had expected. The questions were complex, time was short, and nerves got the best of him. When the results were declared, he had failed to secure a seat in his dream college. Disappointment hit him hard. All his effort felt wasted. His relatives advised him to pick an easier career path. Some even suggested he join his father's mechanic shop. But Ravi wasn't ready to give up. He told himself, I failed once, but that doesn't mean I will fail forever. Trying again. Instead of feeling defeated, Ravi analyzed his mistakes. He realized where he went wrong, worked on his weak areas, and came up with a better study plan. For another whole year, he prepared again, harder, smarter, and with more focus. When he took the entrance exam the second time, he felt more confident. And when the results were declared, Ravi had not only passed but secured admission to a prestigious engineering college. Tears welled in his father's eyes as he hugged him. His mother, who had once scolded him for studying late, now proudly told everyone about her son's achievement. Success, but not the end. College was another challenge. The subjects were tougher, and the competition was fiercer. But this time, Ravi knew the secret: persistence. He worked harder than ever, aced his exams, and even won a scholarship. Years later, Ravi didn't just become an engineer. He designed a machine that made his father's work easier, reducing manual labor for mechanics. His invention was recognized nationally, and he was invited to speak at conferences. One day, as he stood on stage receiving an award, he looked at the audience and said, Success isn't about being the smartest or the most talented. It's about never giving up. No matter how many times you fail, if you keep going, you will achieve your dreams. And with that, the audience rose to their feet, applauding the boy who once studied under a street lamp. Proof that persistence is a key to success. No matter how many times you fail, if you keep trying, learning from your mistakes, and staying determined, you will achieve your dreams. Success is not about being the smartest or the most talented, but about never giving up.